Des Moines, and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. It is the 26th day of October in the Lord's year 2015. Appreciate you being here today. Appreciate everybody being here today. It's another Monday, and we are off and running with the hottest news stories around. But first, I want to tell you what next hour's topic is. One of the topics of conversation. Mr. Roloff, birthday boy yesterday, thinks it'll be a short conversation because nobody in this room, he doesn't think anybody in this room will answer yes to this question. I want to hear what your answer is. Get ready to call in between 4 and 5 and let us know. Do you think the church should allow gay and lesbian pastors and priests? Seminary educated pastors and priests. 244-0077 will be the number you can call in and give us your voice. You can also jump on the chat and hang around with Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, and tell us what you think. And you just say it's an automatic no. They should no.
Well, I guess if we want to have a conversation about it, we can and bat it around a little bit. But I would most
like
likely...
a dead mouse between cats?
Yeah,
just kinda...
yeah, exactly. I mean, I would definitely like to hear someone, if there are people in our listening audience now and in the future that want to call in at 515-244-0077 is the number. If you think the answer to that question is yes, if you think that we can, should, and ought to hire, promote homosexual priests, pastors, whatever. If the answer is yes to that, by all means, I want to know the answer. I want to know why the answer is yes.
Okay.
How that works. I don't know how that is a yes, but something to talk about. Well, it's a Monday.
I'll bet you anything. My Mennonite grandmother and grandfather, when they were alive in the 50s and 60s, the comment came up: should a church ever hire a divorced pastor or preach?
Sure. That's a question.
And the answer was absolutely not. No way. Divorce, horrible sin.
Sure.
Today, it's not even a question.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, no, that's not true. It is a question. It absolutely is a question today. I think a lot of churches still would ask that same question. Should we hire someone who has been divorced? And it's it is something to take under consideration on a case-by-case basis.
You know that's how the Assemblies of God got started, right?
No, tell me.
Everybody got divorced?
Well, basically, the Pentecostals didn't believe in divorce. And if you got a divorce, you weren't really allowed to come to church, so to speak. So the ones that were divorced started their own organization called Assemblies of God.
Now, I want a very knowledgeable Assemblies of God pastor to call up and tell Frank that he is the most foolish person on the planet, because that is the most ridiculous. Bob, is that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Well, I have never heard that. I used to attend this.
Well,
I was going to say, I know some really fantastic Assemblies of God guys. Well, he's not Assembly of God, is he?
Oh, they're Open Bible.
They're Open Bible, although he has some assembly background. We've got a great Pastor Randy who was at the Informed Choices banquet Thursday, which, by the way, the one in Des Moines is Tuesday, informedchoiceia.org. If you want to go to the Informed Choice banquet. I laughed because you made fun of me Friday for not inviting you.
Well, you didn't invite me.
I didn't, because I knew it was Pastor bedtime.
But
Pastor Randy, Life Point Church in Ames, is a good guy.
Do you have Randy's phone number?
I very well might, but Spencer might know. Who else? We have some great AG pastors.
So you think that the Assembly of God is a plant? No, plant wouldn't be the right word.
It's a break-off.
It's a break-off of the Pentecostal church because Pentecostals
believe once married, always married.
All right, and so, all right. And you're going to stick to that?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
How much are you willing to wager? Everything you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 10 cents.
All right.
So I'm not out much.
All right, and you're going to see if we can get
I'm going to see if I can get either Pastor Randy from Life Point Church in Ames or Pastor Spencer Karoff might know.
Well, do you need me to call him, or can you do that?
I can call him. Maybe in the break. I can call Spencer, I know.
Yeah, why don't you just step away from the microphone and call
Okay.
so we can get him on.
Goodbye.
What are you pointing at? Him. Okay. All right. Well, wait, now we can't do news headlines if you're gone.
I'm right here.
Okay. So I was having lunch today with men, and it's quite common when men get together. It's funny, though, not the five of us. We get together every day, and what do we never talk about? Sports. We don't talk about nobody at this table really cares about sports. Isn't that terrible?
Correct. No, it's good.
Well, I do, but I don't.
Well, you're a NASCAR guy.
Well, I'm a stick and ball sports guy too, but since nobody else is, generally that's not the topic of my
Stick and ball. Does that mean baseball?
football, baseball. Used to be
Excuse me.
basketball.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Stop me. Where do they use a stick in football?
I said stick and ball.
Stick and ball.
All sports. That
that's
encompasses
just a general reference. Oh well,
that encompasses hockey.
He's already outsmarted us, Bob. We don't hockey. There's no ball in
There's
hockey.
a stick in hockey.
There's a punk. Puck.
There's a stick in hockey. There's a ball in basketball, a ball in football, and a stick and ball in baseball.
A stick?
Stick and ball encompasses all sports that use either a stick or a ball.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be NASCAR.
No.
So NASCAR's not really a sport? And NASCAR drivers aren't really athletes? You're really going to say that?
Yes.
I can't believe you just said that,
Yes,
Frank.
I will say that.
You don't think NASCAR drivers are athletes?
No, it don't take much to sit in a car and turn a steering wheel except some cardiovascular exercise.
You're nuts. Have you ever driven an Indy car or a NASCAR?
No.
Okay, I have.
But do you remember when they had, what was the show in the 70s where they had the athletes come on and it was on Sunday, Wide World of Sports?
Yeah,
they had
whatever.
David Pearson come on and they competed, Joe Frazier and some of them.
I remember that.
And they kind of proved that racers aren't athletes per
Well,
se.
they are. They are. I'll stick up for them. They're very much an athlete. Okay, who do we have on the phone?
Pastor Spencer Caroff of First Church of the Open Bible in Des Moines is on the phone, and he has something that he would like to clear up that Frank said.
Okay. You're absolutely delighted, so I take it Frank's wrong.
Let's find
I've never
out.
seen Chris so happy.
Well,
Let's find out.
He is wrong, and I actually came out of the Assemblies of God. So, yeah, it wasn't that they were looking for a new denomination because they'd been divorced and were okay with divorce. The Assemblies of God was started because a bunch of people were starting to move in the gifts of the Spirit, especially tongues. They were getting kicked out of mainline denominations, many of them, and there were 300 individuals who met down in Hot Springs, Arkansas in 1914, not with the goal of starting even a new denomination. They called it a voluntary cooperative fellowship. The goal was to really be in a place where we can freely come together under the banner of the Lord Jesus Christ and have the greatest evangelization the world has ever seen. That was kind of their big push at the very beginning, and you've seen that with missions with the Assemblies of God is huge. So anyway, I hate to tell you, Frank, but you're wrong.
So it had nothing to do with divorce.
Had nothing to do with divorce. In fact, for the longest time, the Assemblies of God would not even credential divorced individuals. Now, that has changed in recent years, probably in the last 10 years or less, where they look at individual situations. They won't credential everybody, but for the longest time, they wouldn't even credential ministers who'd been divorced.
Wow.
Do you believe that the Pentecostals believe that once married, always married?
Well, I guess I'm trying to understand your question.
Well,
Because, once you're married, the only thing that should separate you is death. However, Jesus does give two, or the Scriptures give two possibilities of separating a marriage. And
yeah, I understand that. But does
and adultery?
Does the Pentecostal church, was their stance that once you were married, you were always married?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, you have somebody like Charles Mason, who is the first bishop of the Church of God in Christ, which is an African-American Pentecostal denomination, that did not remarry after divorce, I believe. You'll have to check the history on that fully. I know that he didn't remarry, but there was strong admonition against divorce.
Now, do you agree that the Pentecostals is a break off, or that the Assemblies of God is a break off of the Pentecostals?
No, the Assemblies of God is a Pentecostal denomination.
Okay. So my contention is only that they basically started that because where was all the divorcees going to go to church?
No. Again, Frank, the reason that the Assemblies of God was started, and others, was because of the Azusa Street Revival, 1906 to 1909. A bunch of people were getting baptized in the Holy Spirit. Their understanding of Spirit baptism is that the initial physical evidence of that was tongues and speaking in other languages. And because that was not accepted in many of the classical evangelical holiness or mainline denominations, many of them were kicked out of their denominations, and they needed a new place of fellowship. So it had nothing to do with divorce.
Well, Spencer, I sure appreciate you being available to us this afternoon. If you're around in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to have quite a spirited conversation on whether the church should allow gay and lesbian pastors and priests. I'd sure like to get your opinion on that. Spencer Kuroff from Open Bible there at Hickman and Beaver. All right, we're coming back. Top news stories. Couple of them pretty strange. Coming up next, live here on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
o'clock here on the 26th day of October. I am all mixed up today. I was just starting a very, very important document on my computer, and it's called Date, Time, and Subject when Frank was wrong. And so we now have the first one of 1026.
Only the first?
Well, I haven't been keeping track of them.
Only the first one?
Can you think, Chris, of other times he's been wrong? Just off the top of your head?
Well, there was that Tuesday, and then that Wednesday. Most days ending with Y.
Most days ending in Y?
No, I'm kidding.
Well, I only have one right now, and so we're going to save that document, and we're going to keep it. And
no, that'll be a fun list. Frank can look back on it at the end of the year, and we can celebrate it, and we can have a cake and a candle for every time Frank was wrong on it.
Oh no! Fire code would never allow us to start a torch like that in here. No. All right. So
we got the news,
and I'm not a sports guy.
Right, and Frank's kind of a ball and stick guy.
Yeah, have you heard
stick
that
and
before?
Ball? No.
What is with that? Stick and a ball. I've never heard.
I appreciated your comment though that I didn't know football had sticks in it, but
it doesn't. Does it?
I get what he's saying.
It's got yard markers.
It's got yard markers. Maybe that's the stick. Yeah.
I can't believe you guys never heard the term stick and ball sports.
I don't know if I have or not, to be honest with you. I don't know.
It makes sense after you clarified it. I just thought you meant just baseball at first.
So he was wrong on that, too.
No.
I think, well, I don't know.
I'm not conceding I'm wrong on Assemblies of God either, so.
Well,
He's
of
not
course
giving
not.
in.
You're an arrogant, pompous, self-centered, narcissistic know-it-all.
I will find my source.
Okay, you find your source. All right, so let's just say, for example,
Okay.
let's use an examples here, that Frank is the head coach of Frank's Phillies.
Okay.
And they're a
Girls softball team.
college football team. Okay?
Yes.
College football team.
College football team.
No, probably not Frank's Phillies. Frank's Fellas.
There you go.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, we could call them the Cyclones.
Okay.
So Frank's the coach. And Bob Montserrat is a very, 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 very famous and successful college coach at a rival college.
Maybe like the Hawkeyes.
More like Kansas.
More like Kansas. Okay.
Okay. And so Frank, who's really a nice guy but isn't a very good coach for the Frank's Fellas, he hires Montserrat from Kansas and brings him up here to make him look really good.
To be an assistant head coach?
Yeah, well, offensive
coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. Are you following me? So now
Gotcha.
This is all make believe.
Yep.
This is all hyperbole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then all of a sudden, Frank's team is sucking. Like 2-5.
The fellas are going down.
They're going down. It's really bad. Really, really bad. And Montserrat had a winning record over all of his years at Kansas. So if I'm Frank, are you worried that your record's so bad that your own replacement might take your place? Makes sense?
Yeah. I'd be nervous about that.
So Frank fires Montserrat.
It's all Bob's fault.
That's not something that I desired, Rose said. I'm sorry, Frank said of replacing Montserrat. Frank told reporters that the decision was made after disagreements with the direction of the the Frank. I can't put up with this anymore. I just have to be honest. I'm talking about Paul Rhodes, the Iowa State Cyclones, and Mark Mangione.
Oh, no.
I know. That's who I'm talking about.
Whoa.
Rhodes told reporters that the decision was made after disagreements with the direction of the ISU offense. Yeah, I'd say there's a problem with the ISU offense and the direction of it. They don't go the right way long enough. I mean, Mangione came in and told you this, Rhodes? What, was that like a big excitement? Big old epiphany? Cloud thought pillow above your head? Earlier Monday, the Cyclones also announced that sophomore Joel Lanning had replaced incumbent starter Sam Richardson as the starting quarterback. Big day up in Ames today. Big day. So, Bob, how do you feel about that? I mean, you're the star, and you get brought in, and now they're blaming this 2-5 season on you. In fact, you moved your wives and all your children here from Kansas.
Did he coach at BYU?
He was at BYU
He was at
before.
BYU, apparently.
Yeah, he kept winning with those Hail Marys. So you move your brood up here to Ames so you can be this coordinator, offensive coordinator, and now they fire you after 7 games.
Well, I guess I'd be upset about that.
You are upset.
Oh,
I want you to be upset.
I'm upset.
And I want you to tell Mr. Rhodes over there what you think of him.
You're a nice guy, but you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
Frank's wrong again. Twice.
Hey, that's twice. Write it down. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Because Mangione's an amazing offensive coordinator. Now, granted,
Wow.
after 7 games, they've only won 2, but it is Iowa State, for heaven's sakes.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, I feel like, you did a great job telling the story, and I was enthralled and very moved and enjoyed it, and I normally don't like sports-related activities.
See, I made it interesting.
You did make
it
it interesting for me, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
But we broadcast right into Iowa State University.
Yeah.
In the halls, there can bound to be people listening.
Yeah.
Now, are people at Iowa State in agreement with your assessment that Paul Rhodes maybe is not being the nicest guy here, or what's going on?
Yes.
People are thinking that was a bad move to fire this new coach?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
I talked to everybody.
So it couldn't be.
Hold on, Frank. I talked to every single ISU student between the end of the game with Baylor last Saturday until now. I did not miss a student, and 100% agreement that Frank's wrong.
Well, no, there's no contention there. I'm just curious if all Cyclones are upset at Paul Rhodes, because I feel like it would be difficult to be a Cyclone and be upset with Paul Rhodes. I feel like that would be going against your school.
Could it
as
be
it were.
Paul Rhodes sucks?
Wow. That Frank said that. I did not say that.
What did he say?
I can't repeat it.
What did you say?
I can't go on record.
Could it be that Paul Rhodes sucks?
Well, Paul Rhodes is not the best football coach in the world, but you're ISU. Come on. And I'm not a Hawkeye fan. You know that, so I'm not.
You're from Nebraska.
Oh, that's an embarrassment, too, this year. I think we're 2-5.
Yeah.
Aren't
Are
we?
you really?
I think we're 2-5.
Man, I don't even know.
I don't know.
All right, let's go to Ethan. Ethan, you're live on the radio here on The Truth. How you doing?
Good. Hi, Mac. It's fun. I've been listening to you guys for, several months, so I finally tried calling in, but
thank you.
I hate to correct you, Mac. You'll have to make a list for when Mac is wrong, and that one's probably pretty long, but that's a little payback for Frank. But
welcome to the show, Ethan. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Continue.
Thanks, Chris. All right. But anyway, last season we had Mangino as our offensive coordinator also, so he's actually in the second season.
And what was our record last year?
We only had 2 wins.
So it's 2 and what would that make it? 2-9?
It's not good. So yeah, I don't know what to do there, but I just thought I'd at least say that Mangino's been there a little longer.
Did I say that he's only been there a year?
You said
7 you're saying just this season. You're talking about just the 7 games.
Oh no,
he moved up. He would have had to have moved up more longer ago than just this year. So
yeah, and you know what? It was right in front of me here in the story. Was hired in January 2014 to run the Iowa State offense. But do you still think Mangione should have been booted?
No, I don't think he should have been booted. I think he's pretty capable.
Do you think my assessment that Rhodes is scared that Mangione was going to take his job, so he booted him before he got booted?
I think there might be some truth to that. I don't know for sure. But because Mangino, he was at least decent, although he did get fired in scandal. So
he got fired in scandal?
Yeah, they apparently he took one of his players into the locker room and hit him or something like that, and that was why he had to leave Kansas.
Oh, well, that's a lousy reason, but people probably won't agree with me.
So,
all right, What? You want
Ethan,
more?
when it comes to the Mac and Frank list, what's your odds? Which one's going to end up with the most mistakes?
I guess in my humble opinion, probably Mac. But Mac, I really do like you.
We're having problems. I don't know. There's something. Ethan, are you there? What did he say? I didn't hear what he said. All right.
Thanks for calling, Ethan. Love you anytime. 515-244-0077 is the number to call and be just like Ethan when you grow up.
Okay, I need the cone of silence to come down for just a moment with Chris and I. You ready?
Yes.
Am I really wrong that often, Chris?
Sir, can I have your permission to tell you something you may not want to hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am?
Sometimes, yeah.
More than Frank?
Well, that's debatable.
Oh. All right. Sign of Corlins up.
Love you, Mac. You're great, man.
I love you, brother. I just can't believe you're always wrong. All right. Now, here's the next story. Are you ready for this? And I love the way these stories are written. I mean, the writing probably gets me more than anything. This is from WHO TV. A man believed to be high on drugs crashed a stolen car into a utility pole and garage last night, according to police. Now, let's just believe to be high on drugs. There's got to be...
Utility pole and garage? Two things?
Brandon Lee St. Peter, no relation to the guy at the gate, of Des Moines, led people on a short but destructive chase at 9:28 p.m. last night at the intersection of 2nd and Ovid Avenue. This according to Des Moines police. He had stolen a Chrysler 300. Bob, is your car missing?
I hope not.
All right.
Didn't you rent one?
I did. He had stolen a Chrysler 300 but only made it 3 blocks. See, that's why the chase was all over at 9:28. You notice they didn't say 9:28 to 9:30 or something. It was over in a minute. Made it 3 blocks before the man believed to be high on drugs. He had a telephone pole, a garage, and then a parked car. He had the trifecta. St. Peter, there's something wrong. Just something wrong. Was taken to Broadlands Medical Center where police say he admitted he smoked marijuana and snorted a mixture of crushed cocaine and ecstasy about an hour before the crash. His eyes had heavy tremors while they were closed, the officer wrote in his report, and was unable to look at the light. St. Peter couldn't look at the light. St. Peter refused to give officers a UA, which is used to test for drugs, but did blow through a preliminary breath test, though he was negative for alcohol. St. Peter insisted he wasn't driving the stolen car. He's been charged with second-degree theft, operating while intoxicating, and interference with official acts. St. Peter is in Polk County Jail at $6,300 bond. I'm really disappointed in Peter. You know, he was the rock, the Petra. He was supposed to be the main guy, and now he's terrible. We're coming back live on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
All right, 22 minutes before the top of the hour of 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, an extended version of the Salem Radio Network News. And then in our second hour today, should the church allow gay and lesbian pastors and priests? Now, I said seminary trained, and Jill King said, what difference does it make if they're seminary trained? Good point. We'll bring that up, too, in the next hour. All right. Next story. Frank, what do you like to eat?
A lot of things.
You like red meat?
Yes.
Hot dogs?
Yes, but they're not good for me.
Ham?
No.
You don't eat ham?
No.
What are you, a Muslim?
No.
Is that a religious thing?
Yes, it's a spiritual conviction.
Okay. I need an explanation on that. Frank doesn't eat ham.
Sure.
Because of his spiritual.
Makes sense.
Really, where?
Well, no. Okay, before you go down the road that you're going to go down.
I'm going to start calling him Muhammad Frank.
Well, no. Now, wait a second. So there is scriptural, our Hebrew scriptures, the Bible that you and I read, that commanded God's people to refrain from eating pork.
Because
God thought it wasn't good for them. And he wanted to primarily, you have, these are, what do they call them? Are those, not ceremony, but these are laws that were given to the people of God to make them a distinct and unique people group. Okay, it was intentional on God's part for Israel to be a nation set apart. They were to be
a peculiar people.
A peculiar people. So they were set apart by God to be a unique people, and they had specific customs and things that they abide by. And, you know, there are a lot of people that will tell you that pork is not really all that great for you. We can eat it. We have the liberty as Gentiles to eat pork. You're not condemned by God because you eat pork, because that was a law given to Israel. But if you believe that you should refrain from that and that God would be pleased with you, by all means, I think it's okay to forego eating pork.
I thought the reason why we shouldn't eat pork back in those days because GE hadn't invented the refrigerator yet.
Well, and
okay. Pork spoils faster than anything. Well, probably not as fast as chicken.
It's very possible, but you know there were admonitions to not eat any bottom-dwelling creatures. You know, things like shrimp or catfish, anything like that. You know, and those things that we eat, shrimp and catfish, those things aren't particularly good for us. They really don't have a whole lot of nutritional value. There's a lot of good case that can be made just from a health perspective. Now, I think spiritually speaking, God is not condemning people for eating pork, but if you feel like, hey, let's refrain from eating pork, God said not do it, maybe you're okay. I would applaud Frank for doing that. So I like bacon, so I'm not going to.
You don't eat bacon?
Beef bacon.
Beef bacon.
Turkey bacon.
Hold on.
Now let me. Oh, go ahead.
Beef bacon. I'm a former pork producer at the Waldo Pig Farm in DeWitt, Nebraska, and you can't have bacon that's made anything other than from pig.
Well, you know they make tofu. They make tofu bacon. They make tofu hot dogs. They make tofu.
Have you ever been to a kosher?
Like a deli or
kosher deli
or butcher. I have
butcher,
not.
kosher.
So you
butcher.
said when I was able to walk back in here, you said that you do eat hot dogs. Do you just eat like Nathan's hot dogs, like kosher hot dogs, things like that?
I eat turkey hot dogs and beef hot dogs, but they're really not really very good for your health. Even the so-called quote unquote kosher hot dogs. The main problem with hot dogs is you don't know what they're putting in them.
Right. No kidding, Sherlock.
It's kind of like the spam thing, right?
I mean, for everything.
Hey.
Everything.
Spam is my prime
rib, There
buddy.
was a deal on Facebook today talking about human DNA's been found in hot dogs.
Well, guess what, Frank? You're probably smarter than the average bear because eating hot dogs, ham, and other processed meat can cause colorectal cancer. And am I saying that right? Colorectal?
Colorectal.
Colorectal cancer. And eating red meat probably can cause cancer. This, according to the WHO, that's not Van and Bonnie, that's World Health Organization's Cancer Agency reported Monday.
They'll change their mind next week.
Yeah. Eating processed meats remains small, but rises with the amount consumed. So if you eat a lot of processed meat, now I have to ask a question. What's processed? What meat is unprocessed and what meat is processed?
Well, the processed would be the hot dog, sausage, etc., because it's going through some aging process to make it.
Well, they add chemicals to it.
They add chemicals. They add preservatives.
So
to
a good
it.
old-fashioned T-bone steak, that's not a processed meat.
No,
typically no.
Okay. In view of the large number of people who consume processed meat, the global impact on cancer is a public health importance. North American Meat Institute scoffed at the report, saying it ignored numerous studies showing no link between meat and cancer. Red and processed meats are among the 940 agents reviewed and found to pose some level of theoretical hazard.
Well, they add a lot of nitrates, like bacon and hot dogs.
Why?
It gives it the color, the red color. And nitrates are pretty carcinogenic.
Yeah.
So anything that's processed when they have nitrates in it.
Plus the smoky flavor. They're taking that out and reducing that because the cancer-causing
well, we all know if you smoke, you're going to get cancer. So meat shouldn't smoke any more than humans.
Well, the wood, the carcinogenics or whatever that process is potentially creating cancer issues also.
So you think it's okay for a cow to smoke?
No, cows should not smoke.
Good. Well, I'm glad we agree on something. All right, but Bob's right. I mean, for a long time, eggs, terrible for you, too high in cholesterol. Now you're encouraged to eat them.
Right, because cholesterol hasn't been the problem.
What's been the problem?
Inflammation.
Inflammation in
the body.
So, and how do you get inflamed in the body?
By eating processed foods and
really
and smoking and sure, yeah,
really,
yeah, and your liver's there to clean up all of the garbage that you eat.
You know where mad cow disease came from, right?
Mad
cow
magazine.
Disease, they isolated it to spinal columns and brains. It was getting ground up and put in feed for other cows to eat. And that's how the spread of mad cow disease got started. So you're potentially risking, if you eat any kind of meat.
You need to call Spencer and see if that's right.
I don't know if it was specifically spinal column and brains, but I'm gonna go with Frank on this one.
Are you?
The reason that mad cow disease did spread was because they were using leftover Cows were eating other cows, essentially. Yeah.
It's cannibalism.
Small amounts. I mean, it's not like the cows were eating meat. It's not like they were feeding them beef. It was just, they were using those things to I was going to say beef out, but just
so
picking the cow
that's
feed.
the key point you made, though. Of the animals that you should eat the safest or the healthiest would be vegetarian animals. I don't want to eat a carnivore animal, something that's scavenging on the carcass of another.
That'd be like crows.
Right.
So you don't eat black crows?
No.
Blue crows?
No.
Red crows?
I eat beef, but I really probably should give that up.
Okay. All right. So you know what pink slime is?
I've heard about it, yeah.
Is it true, Bob?
Right, yes.
Pink slime is the real stuff, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. They take all the stuff that you can't use. Let's say it's a chicken.
Right.
So they take the beak and the ears and the cartilage and the little foot, the little pointed feet that are so cute, and they chop those up and they put a white dye in it, and it comes out like oatmeal, and then they form it into a patty that looks like a chicken patty, and that's what you have at McDonald's. And red slime is the same thing for red meat. And there's no meat in it.
And I was also told that certain individuals who work for organized crime get rid of human bodies in McDonald's hamburger.
I like your hat. Is that tinfoil you got there?
I'm calling Spencer Kurloff on that one for sure. I don't think that's right at all.
I don't either.
All right. Last break coming up. Next hour, should the church, that's you, and you, and you, and you, and me, should allow gay and lesbian pastors and priests. We'll talk about it next live on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
All right, 10 minutes for the top of the hour. I used to have a producer that would yell at me, 15 seconds, 10.
And who was that?
5, you.
Me.
And now Ryan doesn't yell at all. And I get...
So I'm the top producer around here is what you're saying.
No, that's not at all what I said. All right, one final news story. What suburb do you think of in our community as the safest? The least amount of violence, mostly young families, not a lot of bad things happen there.
Clive, Urbandale, Windsor Heights.
No. Do you have any idea, Robert?
In our area or in the state?
No, in our area.
I probably would guess the same, West Des Moines.
Ankeny. However, Ankeny's reputation has been tarnished. Police say bad manners may have led to a shooting at an Ankeny fast food restaurant this week. Oh, I can just hear the gun nuts. Oh, we need to get rid of guns. 34-year-old Gabriel Coco is charged with no relation to my Coco, is charged with 2 counts of willful injury. He is accused of shooting at 2 people outside a McDonald's in Ankeny Saturday night. Wonder if they were one of the ones that was serving the pink slime. Police said it started inside with an argument between Coco and 2 18-year-old men who were apparently behaving rudely. The argument then spilled into the parking lot and ended in gunfire. No. One of the victims has been released from the hospital. The other remains in serious condition.
Ankeny has a couple of McDonald's. Does it give an address?
Yeah, it's at Ora Labor and State Street. It's right by. It's close to the crime lab.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's brand new one.
Yeah, it's close to DMAC.
Brand new one. So I just can't imagine. So now if you have bad apparently these guys had bad manners in eating, and Gabriel said something to him, and he went outside and shot them both. One remains in serious condition.
Well, it just goes to show that really I guess they can look at the crime statistics for a specific city, but it's going to change over time.
Why do you think we have more crime than we used to, Bob? You're a criminologist.
Is that what the statistics are showing, that we are?
Yeah, that we have more violent crime than we've
selfishness
ever had before. That there are more people out there hurting other people. There are more people. Here's the most important statistic: people don't care if they hurt somebody else anymore. They don't care. There doesn't seem to be a conscience.
Guns just the tool they're using.
Well.
Correct. Yeah, you can't ban forks because forks make me fat. I can blame it on forks, but and now and maybe it's just because I've noticed it, but now you're seeing knives. What are those machetes?
Machetes.
You're seeing all kinds of horrible crimes that aren't even guns.
Right. Well, people will use whatever they can to get the job done. The hate is within people. And what the answer is, well, it's a matter of being that this is a truth network. They need God.
Yeah.
And we're it's a pretty big godless society. I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to see a balance between both.
So you can be a Christian and have a gun too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can be a Christian and have what?
Be a Christian.
Why would having a gun not make you a Christian?
Well, Bob said that people needed God, and so I'm just adding to it that if you're a Christian and you've got God, you can also have a gun.
I don't think. I don't. Well, I suppose. I mean, what was the last shooting that went on where the guy asked them if they were a Christian or not, and if they were a Christian, they got shot in the head.
Yeah.
And if they weren't, they got shot in the leg. That was in some school, right?
Yeah, that was in. Was that in Oregon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that same thing happened in what was that one in Colorado years and years ago?
Columbine.
They did the same thing. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
And then that song came out, I Believe in God, remember, because of that. So Christians are under the gun.
What about the kid that went and shot up the people in the black church in South Carolina?
Right, he went in. It was a small Bible
and
study,
he was killing Christians.
Right. So, the question is, do you carry a gun to defend yourself, or do you depend on God to have His will, whatever that happens to be?
I can't carry a gun. If I was to carry a gun, I'd never, ever, ever let anybody know it. I don't even know if I'd let you guys know it. Because I think whenever I meet somebody that's got a permit to carry and it's obvious they're carrying or they tell you they're carrying, I don't know. There's something about that.
You feel uncomfortable?
I don't know if it's uncomfortable. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I have a friend of mine and she carries a gun in her purse, and I don't think that way about her. So it's not everybody. But, I mean, I used to, you know me, I like to go to different churches. My church has, 7 regular services on the weekend, and so I can catch one on Saturday night or Sunday night or real early and then go somewhere else. And I'd every once in a while go to a different church, and the pastor would be up there with his holster and his gun showing, and he'd be preaching. And I don't know. What is that? I don't know.
I guess what that's saying is that he depends on his gun to protect him.
Would Christ carry a gun?
I don't know. Would he?
Probably not.
Well, I don't think there's any indication that he carried any kind of weapon on him.
Did they even have weapons? I guess they did.
They had swords.
Whips and swords.
Only talked about, if you don't have a sword, so you're cloaked to buy one.
The Bible says that?
Yeah.
If you don't have a sword, sell your cloak to buy one.
Yes.
Well, he said that to Peter. Right?
Yeah.
And
Jesus said that to Peter.
Yeah, and Peter had the sword and cut off the ear. Remember when?
Now, we could argue that since the sword is compared to the Word of God, he was actually saying by the Word of God, but it says that.
I like that. I think that's more factual. All right. We are coming up on our break here with Salem Radio Network News, and then we'll be back. Phone lines will be open. It's your voice I want to hear, 244-0077. Do you think the church, that just means all of us, should allow gay and lesbian pastors and priests? I mean, the Presbyterians went over the hill a few years ago. The Episcopalians have done it. The ELCA, the church that I belong, the what do you call it? The sect?
Denomination?
No, not a denomination. Yeah. ELCA is...
That's a denomination.
Is that a denomination?
Oh, no, that's a...
Well, whatever it is. I mean, they voted to allow gay pastors and priests, and we as a church said, no, we will not be doing that. But is that what's coming? We'll talk about that next. Live here on The Truth, 99.3.